I kinda adore you, but don't get too proud. You're like my favorite snack, I won't say it out loud. I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of way that I got.
Hello horse friends, and welcome back to the Imperfect Question. We're off out for another little toodle down the lane, and it's been a really nice sunny day today, and JJ's feeling ridiculously chilled, which is good. Come on, good girl. Especially after all her adrenaline the other day with the traffic and stuff. She's definitely a lot calmer today. I'd say almost even asleep as we go along. So we're having our usual kind of little nappy stops down this lane. We don't get them so much the other way, but then that's probably just to do with the enclosed lane and the traffic that comes along. So she always has a little bit of adrenaline down there. So we're just out to enjoy some sunshine for a little bit today. Probably get a bit of a trot, maybe, probably more likely on the way back. This level of energy, I doubt she'll be trotting on the way anywhere. Good girl. Oh, car coming. Let's just pull into the lay-by a bit and wait here. Oh, she just did really well waiting at the house whilst there was traffic going by. She literally stood at the edge of our driveway, really still, whilst everything went past. And I'm hoping she can now stand whilst this car goes past. Obviously it's a bit difficult because usually when I'm on the line down here, she can eat as they go past. Thank you very much, thank you. Good girl. She stood really nice. Well done, JJ. Well done. I think if I can reach one, I'll give her a little treat for that. Hold on. Good girl. Well done. Good girl. Nope, we're not going home. Off we go again. I'm pretty sure I just saw a car coming. I did. So we're going to turn around and go back to the lay-by. Just coming out of a drive up there a little bit. Good to practice again. Perhaps we'll practice being the other way round this time, with it coming up from behind her. Now she wants to eat the grass. Okay, this is good practice because this is obviously not the side of the road that we're normally on in this country, so she doesn't normally see cars go by on this side. Good girl. Thank you. There we are. So she was moving around a little bit more that time, and I'm not sure if that's because it was from the opposite side or from behind, or if it was just the fact that we're facing home, so she thinks we're going to go home because we turned around, so she's like, we should be going home. But it doesn't matter, it's all in the practice anyway. I see another car coming up, so we're going to try and trot on, if she will. Come on, to some sort of lay-by or driveway. Not so keen to trot out away from home. Got a big trailer on as well, so hopefully we'll find a big driveway. Good girl. They might be a bit ridiculous and try and squeeze past us. Come on. But we'll see. Come on, good girl. Good girl. Good girl, she's doing well. Come on. Good girl. Most of this has just been nappy for not wanting to trot away from home. Ooh. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Thank you. Go on. Oh, puddle. Thank you. Oh, it's got a cow in the back. There we are. I thought I felt something fall out my pocket then. Probably just a horse treat. Good girl. Walk on. Walk on. Oh, she's very lazy today. Walk on. Oh, she's got an itch. A little itch. Okay, good girl. Walk on. Walk on. Just pull her left and right a bit. That's it. If that didn't work, I'd just use my stick a little bit. Walk on. Come on. Good girl. Come on. Good girl. Come on, JJ. said she thinks she's done enough exercise now, she can't be bothered. There's a good girl. Walk on. Good girl. So something I keep saying to myself lately is if I want a good horse, I need to make her into a good horse. Good girl. And what I mean by that is just even when things annoy me or concern me or scare me or any of those kind of things, I still need to do them because it's the only way she's going to be a good horse. So if I want her to be good with traffic, the only way she can be good with traffic is to get her out in the traffic. If I want her to stop napping, the only way I can stop doing that is to get out more often and keep practicing going forward and teaching her there's no reason to be concerned and keep stopping. And if I want her to be good in the field, good girl, then the only way I'm going to get her good in the field is to keep trying her in the field and practicing. And whenever you have a horse and you start training with them, they're all very concerning times and your adrenaline can come up and they're scared and it can make you scared and it's very difficult. But suddenly one day it all just gets better, and sometimes you don't even quite see that moment when it gets better. And then you look back years later and you might have some vague distant memory of, oh, do you know what, they used to be really bad in traffic, or they used to be really bad at napping or something like that. I mean, not that she's terrible at anything, she's not that bad at things, but in my head she is. Come on darling, good girl. So sometimes we just have to be brave and get on. I would have loved someone to have come and helped me with her, but I can't afford to get someone to help with training who's suitable for how I train her. And I also, because I'm so rural, there's not really anyone else around here to come and help ride. I did ask on Facebook a little bit and I had a few responses, but they're all paid riders, and although it wasn't necessarily a lot of money, I think it was about £25 an hour and £10 every hour after, or something like that. But you know, if you want regular riding, that mounts up a lot, and it's the regularness that she needs. Come on darling, good girl, walk on, good girl. But hopefully, you know, we're getting a bit lighter now, the daylight's coming in, so hopefully I'll get more time on her, perhaps some evening rides. At the moment I'm really just getting weekends. I was very fortunate the other day that my work day ended a little bit earlier, so I could get out in the traffic when it was properly a bit more busy. But normally I'm stuck to the weekends, and that's if it's not raining. I live in Wales, it rains a lot in Wales. And I could go out and ride in the rain, I used to do that a lot, but I like to film and take you with me when I can. And I can't really take the camera out in the rain. It's waterproof, but the lens gets covered in raindrops and then you can't see anything we're doing. So to help me help her to be a good horse, I tend to use a lot of safety equipment that makes me feel better about things. And some equipment that's not necessarily safety equipment, but it just makes me feel like it's easier to use. So I'll probably do more of a video on a breakdown of things another day where you can see them, but just to give you an idea, you probably noticed before I've got an air jacket, so that makes me feel a lot better about if I do fall off, if it's hooked up, that it's going to cushion and perhaps save me breaking some vital bones in my major organ areas. I have had a broken back before in the past, we'll talk about that one day. But it's going to help to try and prevent a few things like that if I come off. Obviously I've got my riding hat. I would never personally ride without my riding hat. I suppose I could, if I get enough trust up with the horses, be encouraged to maybe just sit on them for a photo one day or something if I wanted something particular, but even that's not really advisable to do. Good girl. I also have cages on my stirrups. Good girl. And there's a few reasons for that. Obviously the main reason is I don't want my feet going through the stirrups and being dragged. Come on, good girl, good girl. So that's a really big reason for that. Also, there's a slightly less safety reason, which you might have noticed. I'm particularly lazy with my footwear. So a lot of times I actually do ride in things like trainers, might jump on in the wellies or the muckers, you know, things like that. And they've not necessarily got the best soles and the best heels. Some of them have got no hot heels at all. So it just helps put me in a safer position, that my foot is not accidentally going to get stuck in the stirrups. They're also stirrups that turn so that they face the same direction as my feet go, and it makes it a little bit easier to keep the position of my feet. Another thing I like to use as well, it's not really safety but it makes me feel better, is I've got the rope reins. So I have a preference of using the clip-on rope reins. They have the kind of clips on that don't hook on things, so you have to be really careful with rope reins. If you get the kind of clip where you just push it in or pull it back like a trigger clip, then if they rub on things like a wire fence or some rope, they can accidentally hook it on things. But I've got the kind of alligator style, and that's quite a lot more difficult to get on accidentally. She'd probably more likely unhook herself if something actually triggered it, rather than hooking it on something. So you just have to be careful with them, but they make me feel secure, that I've got a good grip, because they're round, they're not too achy for my hands. Obviously I'm getting a bit older now, and with my job I'm using my hands for scissoring and things all the time, so we get like a little tiny bit of aches and pains, maybe arthritis in some joints and things, and gripping around normal skinny leather reins is quite painful sometimes after a long time. So these rope reins are really comfortable for my hands. Good girl. Good girl. Walk on. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. There we go. So we shan't go too much longer till we turn around, I wouldn't have thought. So as you all know, I've been doing my Top Barn 12-week challenge, which we just picked the easiest one really, which is copper. And that's only an hour and a half commitment each week. So because of the daylight and being in an area where I don't have a school and we don't have access to bridleways that aren't roads, it's not very safe for us to do any more than that. It's very difficult. But we've been doing quite well with that this year. Been getting out, doing mostly hacking, a few smaller tasks, those bits in the field you saw us do, and you're allowed to count 15 minutes of the grooming time as well. So we've been having some nice little pamper sessions as well. But we have had some years where we haven't been so successful, and we have had to drop out because we just haven't made enough hours. You are actually allowed one holiday week where you just have the week off, and also a week where you're allowed to make up the hours for that week from other weeks. So if I do 2 hours this week instead of an hour and a half, then what we would have is I'd have half an hour spare. So if I keep that in the bank, then if I need that half hour to add to give us some other hours, then that would make up my hour and a half for another week if I needed time off. So that's really good because it covers you if you're actually going away in that time, or if your horse has some lameness maybe, or something like that where you need to just have a little break but you still want to carry on with the challenge. We're just over halfway through it. It's good girl. Good girl. She's quite alert today for considering how chilled she is. Seems to be stopping a lot more even than normal, but there's nothing really I can hear or see to make her do that. Good girl. Walk on. Good girl. Walk on. Good girl. Although the last time we came down here and went down the hill, I made her trot back up the hill. So perhaps she's just remembering that and thinking that I don't want to trot up a hill again. There's birds singing. I can hear very little traffic. It's quite far away. And there's lots and lots of sheep baaing. And at this time of year, we're starting to see quite a few little lambs out in the field as well, which is nice. I saw some young cows today as well out at pasture for the first time. Yeah, it's a nice day. Okay, there's a car coming and we need to turn around anyway at some point soon, so we'll turn around now and we'll head back to a lay-by. Nice little trot. Now we trotted way before the car got behind us, so I'm trying for her not to associate it with cars directly. And we'll see how calm she can be in this lay-by here. Good girl. Pull off for a moment. She might try and eat stuff. Good girl. Whoa. Whoa. Fighting me a little bit. Good girl. Thank you. There we are. Good girl. So yeah, she wasn't standing quite as nicely as before. I didn't want to automatically let her eat every time. Good girl. So she was a bit confused by the situation, but there we are. Oh, I can actually see some sheep this way now in one of the fields. They must have been hiding behind the hedge. Maybe that was one of the things that JJ kept stopping at. I didn't think there was any sheep right by us. I can hear them in the distance. It's supposed to be really quite a stormy day tomorrow. So I think there's supposed to be like 55-mile-an-hour winds, so we're going to batten down a bit tonight. But we'll see. You never quite know till it gets here. And lots of rain, obviously, lots of rain. So we're enjoying the day whilst we can. I think we'll have another little trot. Ready, JJ? Good girl. Much more willing on the way home now. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. So the sheep are actually behind this hedge in the corner up on this field. So she may stop. She may spook. I don't know. We've just got to be prepared in case she's very aware of those. It's actually a sheep that looks like it's climbing in a tree a bit. Very strange. Yeah, she's just going to stop. Yeah, well, that's nothing. That doesn't matter at all. Good girl, JJ. Good girl. Oh, yes. So, although we are getting out on a few more little rides now, it's still not really that many yet. It's not daily by any means, and sometimes it's just once a week for about an hour and a half or a bit less sometimes, depending on what we're doing. And because of that, it's not that often. I'm not really seeing a marked improvement in her fitness just yet. It's about the same as it was, really. But in some ways that's probably a good thing at the moment, because it means, say like when she had adrenaline the other day, that I can let her trot it off, because she will become tired very quickly. So it can be a good thing for me at this level of our training at the moment. Let's have a quick nose what cakes they've got today. Some waffles, some Welsh cakes and some eggs. Oh, car coming. We're just going to turn and go back to the lay-by. JJ, there is a ditch there. Ooh, she's found it. See? Silly girl. Walk on. She was so busy just moving around, she's not seen the ditch. Walk on. Come on. Walk on. Walk on. Good girl. That's it. I think we're out of the way enough now. Can let her have a bit of food this time. Thank you. Okay. Right, well, that was interesting. That happens sometimes. See, when you ask them to do something and they're so busy concentrating on the fact they don't want to do it, they're not actually very aware of their surroundings. Oh, well, we get to try again because there's another car coming. Obviously it's rush hour. Good girl. That was better. Didn't end up in the ditch that time. I mean, it's not a very deep ditch, so I didn't have to panic too much. We all know I love a panic. But still, if she doesn't know it's there, that's when I worry a bit. Good girl. Here it comes, the car. Getting closer, and there we are. Thank you. Before. Right, come on, darling. Let's see if we can get back before there's any more cars. Good girl. Right, don't see any coming yet. I think it's time for us to try another trot. Are you ready? Good girl. Try and get down to the next lay-by before someone else starts to come down the road. Good girl. I'm quite lucky really. Oh, see, there's a white van coming, but we have got another lay-by coming up. That although JJ is actually naturally an extrovert, when she gets worried about stuff, it just never really seems to occur to her to canter, because she'd be a bit more of a problem if when she spooked at stuff she cantered off. But it's a good thing for me, really. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Standing nicely again now. Good girl. Thank you. Right, try a trot again. She's lovely and light going off on a trot, and actually even when we were coming away from home she's not too bad, but she just stops and we have to restart the trot again. At least this way she tends to go a bit further until she gets tired. Good girl. Good girl. She's doing well. Trying to be light in the saddle as I can. Good girl. She's tiring down a little bit now. And there we go. Good girl. Well, that wasn't too bad. I'm not too worried about forcing her to go further at the minute. Not while she's so unfit still. So let's talk through some plans and hopes for this year's videos for you. I'm hoping in the summer we'll do some more ground training with a horse, maybe ridden training in the field as well, and document a bit of that. Oh, another car. Good girl. Turn, good girl, turn. Watch where you're going, good girl. And what else? I'd like to go to the school a few times, the indoor maybe, and do some videos there. Get JJ in a different environment. Get some more videos with Comanche, maybe riding in the woods. Hope to ride out with a few people as well. I've asked around some friends if they've got anything going on this year to let me know, so I can video them. I've had some replies to that, some interesting things that we might get going. Yeah, we'll have to see. Hopefully we can come up with a variety of things. At the moment, I suppose we could go to the school a bit, but other than that we're really stuck with just hacking and chatting, and mostly close to home. Let's have another little trot now she's had a rest. Good girl. She had a bit of a spook then. I don't know what at. Made me drop forward a little bit, so you might have got a bit closer to her ears. She just, you know when they drop down on the spot and stop, that's what she just did. I'd be in trouble if she was a spinner. I don't think I'd sit very well for that one either. Good girl. Well, I had been planning to stop in the lay-by, but she's still trotting so well after that little spook and a bit of adrenaline that we kept going. I've taken advantage of the situation. There we are. And the adrenaline must have come down a bit more because she's slept down now. Well, we're nearly home, so thanks for joining us again, and thank you to everyone who subscribes to us and follows us along on our journey. We love hearing from you when you do comment. Please do comment and let us know what you've been up to in your life lately. See you next time then. Bye.